Welcome back to the show. We have with us in the studio, not that often that we ask Ian to come onto the show, but usually it's when we need to introduce some groundbreaking or earth-shattering news. And I guess today is no different. Ian Reynolds, everyone, here he is.
I feel like every day in this place is groundbreaking. It's like we're always implementing something new.
That's true.
So
you gotta. It's like we are like to be a hard target. You got to move around so you don't get shot. But
especially this COVID stuff, it's like, okay, what's changing today? What do we got to make work?
Do we wear masks? Do we not wear masks? Should we be 6 feet away, 12 feet away, 2 feet away?
Right.
So it's a little undaunting. But you're here to talk about the Reynolds Media Internet Service, and you want to give a little history on how all that started?
Yeah, well, some people may recognize Hometown TV Internet or Hometown Internet or Hometown Wireless. It's kind of some names we've used. We're kind of have to go with the Reynolds Media Internet right now, but that's kind of what we've decided on. But gosh, I mean, if you're struggling out there in the rural area for internet, give us a call because we have a product that you need to look into. So it's fast, reliable internet service for rural people and out in the boonies. So we're primarily focused on South Harrison right now, Valley Springs, Everton areas covered really well. But yeah, south of Harrison, we've got filled in a lot of the holes down there. So, and we're even looking at increasing our speeds here soon. So we do 5, 10, and 15 megabits per second speeds, and a lot of people are like, is that even enough for what I'm doing? And what's funny about internet is you can be doing a lot with a little amount of speed. And I'm not saying what we have is a little amount, but there are a lot of companies out there that oversell what you really, really need. So if you're buying 50 or 100 meg, 25 meg even, a lot of times, I promise you're never using that unless one time a month when you're doing a Windows update.
Yeah, and most people don't understand what they're getting or what they can do with what they've got. Yeah. I'm one of them.
Yeah. They don't really realize that. I mean, the only real way to see how much data you're using at any given time is to log into your router, which how many people ever do that?
Never do, yeah.
And look, and some routers don't even tell you then what you're using, but most routers today, the newer ones, will tell you what you're using at any given moment. So most people use averaged between 5 and 8 megs per second. So our 10 megs is probably it is our most popular package. But if you've got a large family, 15 to 20 is probably optimal. So if you're buying more than that, you either need it for a business or your internet service provider is selling you something and then chunking it down into little segments. And that's one of the little secrets they tell you that you never know about.
So they give you what they're telling you they're giving you, but they give it to you in spurts.
In increments.
Yeah. So
if you go over that or tap into it, the speed goes, or the stream goes down. The flow goes down.
A lot of my experience with some of the larger providers, and I'm not going to give out names because I don't know their official policy, but what I have seen is they'll sell you a 50 meg package, but they'll separate it out into 1/10 of that per device. So they'll see how many devices you have, and say you got 5 on there, so each device will only get 10 megs per device. So
sneaky.
Yeah.
So do you have contracts? Do people have to sign a contract for a certain amount of time?
No, we don't do any contracts. Basically, if we feel like if you're happy with your service, you'll continue to pay us.
People will love that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, and I take calls here about people asking questions, and one of the biggest questions is I get your TV signal, so I should be able to get your internet signal. And that it doesn't work that way. It has to be, explain that a little bit.
So our service is a line-of-sight service. It does require an outside antenna to be able to pick up our internet service. The frequencies for television and the frequencies for what we're allowed to use with the internet service are different frequencies. The internet service is a smaller wavelength. It does not travel through trees, buildings as well, so that's why we require everyone that when we do an installation, it needs to be, you actually have to be able to see those towers. So even if we have to put the antenna out in the yard or up in a tree or sometimes at a neighbor's house, we can do that and make that work. I just got a call just a second ago from a church that was down in a river valley, and he's like, "Oh, so if one of our congregants at the top of the hill can get it, we can then hop it off their house down to the church." And I was like, "Yeah, as long as we can borrow their power, we can make it work." So we split frequencies up, change them around. If we're closer to a residence or where the intended destination is, we can go through foliage a little bit better, but when we're going miles, we definitely want to be able to see those towers the best we can.
So if somebody can see and we do have tower sight on Boat Mountain, Compton Mountain, and Pilot's Knob in Batavia.
Yep.
Those three. So if somebody says they can see the mountain, but they can only see it when they're driving down the dirt road,
Yeah.
it's not really, it has to be at their home where they see it. So they've got to walk around the home and see that if there is an opening. We had a neighbor that stopped me one day and wanted to know if he could get service, and he was up on a hill, and you could see the mountain, but you could only see it if you were looking through some trees. And I told him, you're going to have to get rid of you're going to have to have a hole there. So he just went out there and cut some trees.
Yeah.
So, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it is. Now, the good news about this is the FCC is designating some spectrum that will go through those trees a little bit better. It's going to take a while. I've got to get licensed to be able to do that, but it's down the road, and it's just now starting to open up. So some foliage will work soon. So we'll just have to implement that here in the near future.
So you guys are constantly improving and looking for the newest, bestest stuff.
Yeah, it's always
And pulling your
always improving.
hair out in the process.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if anyone's interested.
Yeah. If anybody's got questions, give us a call here at the station, 870-741-4891. They can call me on my cell. Happy to give that out. Or just probably the best way, though, is to just reach out to our Facebook page, Reynolds Media Internet Service, and you can send us a message there.
All right, Ian. Thanks a bunch. We're here to serve you, and if you are thinking about internet service, just give us a call, and we'll be glad to talk to you. We have a mapping program that you can give us your address, and we can pinpoint your location exactly. And then there's also a part of that program that we use that can do a side view to see if there's any obstructions between our location and your location.
And I've seen it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool program. If you're interested in that, please give us a call. The number is 870-741-4891, and we'd be glad to talk to you about providing you with internet service. And also, we have a information flyer on our Facebook page, or we can send it to you via email or directly to your phone. We are going to take another break, and your favorite person of this show is going to be on
You're going to have
right
Wanda
now.
Massengale. She's representing Ozark Humane Society, and she's going to have Dolly when we come back.